Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the English news from Djibouti channels. Here are the main issues. The major ministerial delegations led by the Prime Minister made an on tour in Arta. On continental news, in Israel reduced her help in Gaza population. There were our main top stories, and now let's get to the details. After turning in the southern district of the country, Ali Sabih and the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed surrounded himself this morning in the region of Arta at the head of a large delegation comprising 5 ministers, including the Minister of Energy, Mr. Yunus Ali Gedi, as well as the Minister of the Budget, Mr. Bodi Ahmed Roble, the Minister of Interior, Mr. Hassan Omar, and the Minister of Decentralization, Mr. Hamad Mohammed Aramis, as well as the Minister of Health. Immediately after his arrival, the Prime Minister and his delegation had a first meeting with the notable and the different localities, in other words, in the Mirjuk, in Arta, Wea, Bika 51, and Karta. This constructive and frank dialogue reviewed all issues relating to everyday lives, namely the problem of water related to drought, the use of the young women, the past and health situations. The objectives of this tour is to make an assessment of the decentralization services of the state. The President's policy is to bring administrations and services together with the state in the interior region, which has come to fruition with the setting up in 2060 of a minister delegated to the Minister of the Interior. 2 years after the establishment of the Minister of Decentralization, Mr. Hamad Mohammed Aramis. The objective is to bring all the participants to realizations of this department and to discuss the different difficulties encountered in order to remedy of accelerate the process of the development of public services in the interior regions. The minister stressed during his speech the importance of this tour in the interior region to improve the quality of public services. He included his speech 2 years after the establishment of the Minister of Decentralization, Mr. Hamad Mohammed Aramis. The objective is to bring all the participants to the realization of this department and to discuss the different difficulties. After that, the governmental delegation went to the headquarters of the regional council, where the delegation met the local elected representative of the different localities of the Arta regions. During this meeting with the local elected representative of the region, was part of the government's periodic consultation with the population of the different regions of the country. The elected official reviewed with the members of the government all the questions concerning the services decentralizations. In this way, issues were related to the water issue, the effect of drought, the livestock situation, unemployment, as well as the communication, the security and issuance of identity document were discussed. The Prime Minister and the members of the government have responded to all concerns of local elected representatives while taking note of the priorities action to be taken in the short and medium term. After that, the minister in his speech stressed the importance of this tour making by members of the government around the interior region to make high quality of the public services in the interior regions. And his part, he promised to discuss about the main issues concerning energy with the notables and the people of Arta and the other interior regions. Minister of Health invited all health personnel placed in retirement positions as token of graduated and recognitions of services rendered to the health department. Indeed, the health minister Jama al-Mawki cited the importance to pay a solemn homage to the 676 health personnel in all the functions included in the list of retirees issued by presidential decisions at the beginning of October. During the meeting, the minister reminded that the Department of Health will be constantly at their side while stressing the importance of the links maintained within the family of health is welded and which they will always be part. The new retirees warmly thank the minister for his profound marks of esteem and all the honors that are devolving on within these situations. Subsequently, the minister invited all retirees from the Minister of Health to a luncheon receptions offer in their honor at the Sheraton Hotel, a moving and festive ceremony that intend with the presentations of a certificate to each of the new retirees issues in recognitions of the services rendered during their career at the Ministry of Health. A delegation led by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Corporations, Mr. Muhammad Ali Hassan, took part in the deliberation of ministerial meeting of Tokyo. International Conference on Africa Development is held for the first time in Tokyo from 6 to 7 October 2018, accompanied by our ambassador to Tokyo, Mr. Ahmed Al-Reita Ali, and Deputy Director of Asia Oceania, Mr. Omar Mahmoud Farah. Met on Saturday, October 6, the Deputy Parliamentary Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Kenji Yamada, and JICA Vice President Hiroshi Kato. The manly exchange on ways and means to consolidate and strengthen the relations between the two countries. The meeting was preceded by the senior official meeting on October to ensure adequate preparation of IGA to be held from August 28 to 30 in Yokohama in Japan. The government set up several programs to promote trade. For more details, we are gonna follow in our next news. For almost a week, a 20-year-old boy, Mr. Saleh, has been leaving his home in Balbala, Wahlidaba. He has not since shown himself. Mr. Salah Ali was wearing a trouser and t-shirt. The health status of Mr. Saleh requires urgent medical care. If you have seen him or you know where is he, please contact his family from this number 77249467. And now let's move on continental news. The polls open Sunday in Cameroon at 8 o'clock for the presidential elections, after which we'll know the name of the new head of state. Cameroonians are asked to choose between 8 candidates.
Cameroonians vote this Sunday to elect their president. More than 6 million voters are expected at the polls. 8 candidates, including outgoing President Paul Biya, are in the running. During this poll, telephones are forbidden in police stations. The director of the Cameroon Electoral Commission reminded that the telephone is not an electoral material within the meaning of the law. The campaign was marked by the resurgence of violence in English-speaking area where separatist movement promises to disrupt the polls. Since the morning, the army has killed at least 3 men in the region of Pamenda. The governor Deben Tofo held the majority of the people who braved the threat to fulfill their duty of citizen.
Here we arrive at the end of this news edition. Thank you for watching Djibouti Channels. Goodbye.